Hi everyone, we are back in the Wonder Room in Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, and we are going to cover some of these little objects. How many we do will sort of depend on the length of the video really, but I have been asked to do the helmet and the umbrella in video, so I thought we would have a go. The helmet is quite fun. I'll start with that one. It's silver, I would say. So we're going to start with, we use some greys for the silver. I'm going to start with quite a dark grey. This is the Cold Grey 6. I'm not sure how well that's showing. I just moved my light, but I don't know if that's really helping. Anyway, so I'm going to go all around the edge. I don't know whether to zoom in a little more for you, just a tad. There we go. I want to keep it all in shot. So I'm going to go all the way around the edge. I'm sort of going to ignore the different bits of drawing on here, detail I should say, at the moment. So I'm going to concentrate on areas where I think it will be shady. It looks to me like the visor is down on this helmet, so it's actually completely covered in the silvery colour, and I'm going to fade this as I go towards the middle of the helmet. Like that, and I'm going to grab another brown. I'm going to go down to the Cold Grey 4. This is the same as we did for the silver spoons, if you watched the video for the other side of the page when I did the spoons. And the idea I am trying to give is that we've got a silvery shine, and so if we slowly fade our colour, we need to have a little bit at the top towards the middle. Hopefully if we leave some white it will look a little bit shiny. So I'm going to grab one lighter shade which I need to sharpen. This is the Cold Grey 3, just to pop in the middle of here towards where we're going to leave a little white gap. Unfortunately this anchor is in the way of a lot of the centre of the helmet, but hopefully we still get that impression that there is a shine. I'm just filling in a few gaps which I don't like the look of. Now I've done that, I want to add more colour for the detail. So I'm going back to my darkest grey, which is the Cold Grey 6. And I'm going to look at the detail in the helmet and think about where the shadow is going to be. So everywhere we've got a little dot, that is sort of a screw or something, which is probably pushed out, slightly sticking out. So we need to put a little bit of shadow, my page wants to move, underneath each one as best as we can. I'm not really into accuracy, but hopefully it will just give enough of an impression that that might be sticking out. Now I'm going to think about this bottom piece here. I think might be slightly sticking out from the rest because it's a sort of brim. So I'm going to put a shadow above there, and then these I'm going to ignore these lines. They're quite happy as they are, I think. I'm going to put a little bit of emphasis on this one, making sure that it's darker here. Where the whole thing is darker, you still need to think about fading it, and I need to continue that across that one like that. A bit here to maybe sit that bit a little bit back. Now in here, look, I think there'll be shadow, make that quite dark, and I think this thin line is sticking out. So I'm going to put some shadow under it and above it, and hopefully it'll just pull it out a little bit. This bit I feel is sticking out under the visor part, and I'm going to leave that bit. I'm going to think this is where the visor lifts, so there'll be quite a defined line there, and this whole bit here is the visor, so here is the back of it. So again there'll be shadow here where it sort of pulls up and over, but we can also just pop a little line here and here. Now we haven't done this bit on the top, So I'm just going to do the outside with this darker colour and just bring that in slightly, and then the cold grey 4 just to finish it off. I'm not going to go in with that lighter one as well, it's not enough space because I want to still leave that white like that. So there's the base of the helmet, and we've got the feather to do. I've just noticed how wonky you are. There we go. Right, so the feather I want to be in a really nice bright red colour. What I'm going to do is start with a slightly duller red. This is the Scarlet Red. Whoops, I had it outshot then. I was showing you it's somewhere miles away. So I'm going to do a layer of this first, and then I'm going to go in with the darker red to put in some of the, make it more vibrant, but I might want to put some areas darker than others. So we'll start with this. This is quite an orangey red, I think. That's okay. Now we've got the middle of the feather, which I'm going to leave. I always think that's normally a grey, but we'll use one of the warmer greys. If you're using polychromos, then I would use French grey. And if you are, no, I mean Prismacolor, sorry. This is the darker red, 217. I would use a Davies grey if I was using Castle Art. Middle Cadmium Red. I'm going to go in from the middle here and just, I want a dark defined line along this piece, and then I want to just fade it out where Johanna's drawn us these lines, like that. And then I want the tips to be dark as well. Again, I'm doing a dark piece and fading it in. I'm going to have a look to see how that looks. It still looks fairly pale. I think it's because I've moved my light. Hang on. Well, that's better. There we go. That's how it, that's a bit, that's more real. My light was bleaching it all out. And now I can see better as well because it's not reflecting off it. There we go. So we can see there is a difference. And hopefully that makes the feather look slightly more three-dimensional. It's slightly curling at the edges of the feather. So there's the helmet. How long have we been on? Oh, not long. Okay, we will do the umbrella. Let me just move the book very slightly into shot. Now, colour of umbrella? Not sure. We'll do a wooden handle. Or will we do a black handle? Black. Colour of umbrella? The wall's going to be blue, so we won't do it blue because it won't stand out. And I think purple's a bit too close as well. Maybe we'll go with a pink. So I'm going to grab this colour. This is quite dark. Oh, it's a bit too dark now, aren't we? Let's have a little bit more light. So this is the magenta, and I'm going to use it for the darker areas of the umbrella. So in here where we've got the pieces that are the inside, I'm going to use it there. And then in these creases, because if you think about how the umbrella works, this is where the fabric folds up, so it'll be darker, and I'm just going to bring that out slightly. We'll do the same on all of them. Of course it will come out slightly on both sides. But if you think about the shape of that fabric, you can see how it's drawn actually. I think we're going to need to put a bit on each end just to help the illusion of the shape of the fabric. Okay, I'm going to go in with a lighter pink. I'm just choosing one. This one's rather pretty. This is number 125, which is the middle purple pink. I'm just going to give it a sharpen because we've got a very little area, haven't we? So I'm going to go over the top of that magenta and then just bring that in slightly towards the middle. We don't want to leave white, but we do want it to be paler. Obviously towards the bottom it's going to be darker because we've got a thinner strip, but we do want it to look like it is, these bits are closer to the light, and therefore, sorry you can't see, and therefore are lighter. So along here, and then up this side, and like that, and hopefully that gives the impression that the fabric is sort of squished up. Obviously a very technical term, so I'm just overemphasizing the dark colour on the edge and in those sections. Hopefully that has worked. I'm just looking in the camera, I think we need a little bit up there. Now I've gone over the line here, I'm going to rub that out. I don't want it to go this far down. Now I think the part of our umbrella might be either gold or silver. I think I'm going to make it black because I don't think it's going to match in with this colour. Gold doesn't go very well with pink, and if it's silver it'd be too close to this. We've also got this anchor to go, which is probably going to be silver as well, so I'm just going to use black. This is my little tiny black. He's not going to be useful for long, but at the moment he's still, I still managed to sharpen him. So what I'm doing here is just putting a darker amount of black on the outside of the areas, and it will be lighter towards the middle. With this handle it is going to be darker underneath anyway, so might want a thicker line underneath, so where the shine is, it might not be exactly central. Now we've got these little bits, I'm going to do those in quite a dark black. Hopefully I can get that fairly accurate even with this teeny tiny pencil. There we are. Now I think I'm going to do the anchor as well. Now it's a bit tricky because it's going to be grey, silver, and we've already got silvers behind with this, but I think what we need to do is to make it stand out. Now we haven't done any shadow behind it on the helmet, which might help us if we need it. I think the best way to approach this is to start with a lighter colour. So instead of starting with the cold grey 6, which is what I did with this one, I'm going to start with the cold grey 4 as my darkest, and then hopefully that will help it to not look the same. And I'm going to go around the areas where I want a darker colour. So basically at the top here around the edge to here. Now I'm going to go down the sides. Now I find when you're doing a silver, the cold greys are better. They look more silvery compared with a warm grey, which looks a bit more brown. So if you have got silvers in your picture but you want to do grey, use the warm greys for the things that aren't silver. So that's a tip for you. Also, if you use gold instead of silver, or even the bronzy colour which we were using earlier, that might help. My son was just messaging me. He's supposed to be in a lesson. A naughty child. Okay, we've got cold grey 3. I think I'm going to go right down to cold grey 2 to keep it really quite light. So I'm just giving it a sharpen. and just, let's hold the page, it's wibbly wobbling. Oops, that's me being heavy handed. We might need to blend that a little bit better. I'm going to leave a shine in the middle of it so it looks silvery, but I don't know, we may have gone a bit too pale with this. I'm going to persevere with it, and then we'll see when it's done whether I need to add a bit of darker colour or not, whether we can get away with it. It's quite hard when you're in the middle of colouring to work it out. Let's have a look. I think that's okay, but what I do need to do, going back to my Cold Grey 4, is put a bit of shadow under here. There we go. Okay. Now I'm looking carefully to see whether I want to put any shadow here from the umbrella or here from the anchor, but I don't think I do, because I'm thinking this is quite far away from this. It's sort of half a plank away. This is a whole plank away. I don't think it's close enough to cast a deep shadow here and here. It obviously depends where the light is in the room. But I'm going to leave those. I'm just going to do the arrow just to finish off. And just because it's going to be, I don't think I'm going to do it silver. We've got such a lot of silver. I'm going to do it black, just so that it's a bit different. So I've got my black here, and I'm going to go in hard here at the top and here at the bottom, and then I'm going to fade that up this, what's it called? It's not the stem, I'm not sure. Fade that up there so it's got some shine to it, and then on the arrowhead make it dark at the bottom and just fade it up towards the tip. You could do this any colour you like. Now this bit you could do multicoloured, all sorts of colours, but I'm actually going to just leave it black and just reduce that pressure as you go up. Doing this sort of fading, even fading, isn't easy. There isn't a technique as such, it's just practice, I think. So it's just pressing harder and then reducing how much you press. And there we go. Okay, I'm going to make that do. So we've done that little bunch. Let's just pull it down so we can see the top of the feather. Oh, but now I can't see the bottom of the umbrella. I'm going to have to zoom you out just a tad. There we go. So that's us done with that little section. So I hope that was okay. Oh, I forgot the bit in the middle of the feather, didn't I? Oops, now I hit the tripod with my arm. I'm sorry. So a warm grey 3, and I usually try and leave a lighter bit in the middle to make it look a little bit shiny. It's quite hard to see when it's so small, but there we are. That's us done. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed that one, and happy colouring.